Hello, welcome back to Great Lakes Kill Team. Today we're going to do our first tier list, a dirty tier list for the first day of the data slate. So George is joining me today, and then
Hello.
David, who's another one of our locals, he's going to join us
Howdy.
as well.
This tier list is going to be 100% accurate,
Yep.
and we don't hear any complaints in 4 weeks or any receipts or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yep.
perfect information. We know everything, and this will be
Yeah,
gospel.
we can see the future.
Exactly.
We know.
So we'll just sort of kick it off. I'll probably ask you guys to sort of talk through it with the teams that you guys are most familiar with, and I'll do the same for the ones I am, and then we can sort of bicker about the ones that we have no clue about. So
Sounds good.
the first one on the list is Angels of
Oh
Death.
wait,
Yeah,
do,
go ahead,
do, do we
George.
want to go? Do we want to go through the card ops changes, like the flag change and the
Yeah,
retrieve?
that's a good call. So you want to talk through them, George?
Yeah, sure. So the retrieve one is pretty basic. It means you can't pick up a point if you're already carrying a marker. This is a bit weird because it doesn't let people who carry mines pick up markers in really weird spots. So like the Kasrkin Recon Trooper, he can do retrieve.
Yep.
I guess I can't do that anyway because he doesn't have it as an archetype. But the big one is the flank nerf. So basically, instead of scoring 2 points on turning point 2 and 3, you only score 2 points at the end if you control the same flank that you did the time before.
Yep. And then
Any hot takes on that?
I think flank is still very good. I think it
Yeah.
brings it down closer to in line with the other ones, but what do you think, David?
Uh, in like a really tight game, it'll matter a lot. Like I feel like there's a lot of games with Mandrakes where I'm really leaning heavy on just having that one flank on TB2. So it could really affect. I think it's a good nerf.
Yeah.
It might not be enough, but it's definitely a good nerf.
I think it's a good tack up just because it doesn't cost you any actions. It kind of focuses your game, so you're not running around doing side quests. And people take retrieve, often thinking they'll get 4. So I think on some missions where you can maybe prioritize crit and get the 5 there, flank is probably still fine. And I think some factions probably play flank better than others. Like Felgor can kind of probably brute force it still.
Yep.
Mandrakes will probably have to be a bit more kind of selective, or maybe Vespids as well, selective about how they move forward.
Yeah. From like the base set of stuff, I think the only other thing that changed was the new equipment. Is that right?
I think so. Yeah, it's the new breaching charge, which gives for when you're valuable 4 slots, you can do a breach action for 1 APL.
Once per
This is
battle.
once per battle. This is
Oh,
gonna be
is it
quite big on some
once?
teams. Yeah.
True. I guess it probably
That
only
means-
comes up once anyways, so.
Yeah, it's like turn one. Now Vespids and Mandrakes can breach the walls instead of just standing in front of them.
Yep. And Cults.
Pretty cool.
Cults was another one that happened a lot with.
Yeah.
So the one thing that I realized recently, which I didn't believe, was if you breach breach point and there's someone behind it. I knew about the stun, but I did not know about the damage.
Yeah.
So if you roll over a certain
Yeah.
amount, the people behind it take damage. So that's like a little bit of extra utility you can get from this.
Yeah, true.
But I don't know. I think equipment slots are really valuable. I think on some maps it might be useful. Maybe some missions, like against the old Deathwatch. Just helps those teams, like you said, right? Like Vespid and Mandrakes really quite like this.
Yep.
Yeah. I think Vespids really like all their equipment, but Mandrakes like are basically like really they don't really need any of them except maybe the super conceal is really important in some maps, but they have all the equipment slots they need or like that they could ever want to fill it with that.
Yeah, I can see that. So Blaze of Khaine probably find this hard to budget for, but I think most other teams will.
Yeah.
Yaegirs, probably. Oh, but Yaegirs got the mine guy, so yeah.
Yeah. Sweet. So I think without further ado, we can hop into it. Angels of Death are first, George.
Yeah, let me find them. So off the
S
top of
tier.
my head, it's two small changes. I'd probably bang them in top of A, I think. I don't think they're S. I think they're probably A. I think they've got good matchups overall. The two main changes don't really change them. that much. So they are, you can take the sniper and the heavy gunner, which is fun. You get to use both the big bases, the big base models, which is pretty cool.
Yep.
And the heavy gunner now has a pistol equipped with them. Sucks to be the heavy gunner from Plague Marines because
Yep.
he doesn't have the same. Just opens up a bit more flexibility with that operative. Like I was taking him before, but now you're even more incentivized to take him. I think opens up a lot more kind of flexibility to move, shoot
Yep.
on his own turn and stuff. I don't think they're S tier just because of their attack ops. I think Seek and Destroy and Security are okay. Like you can play them, but I think on some matchups and some missions and some boards, you kind of struggle for choice. Like against maybe like Wreckers on Volcus, it's quite hard to kind of choose a good attack up there. So I think that's probably like the one thing that's kind of letting them down. But they've got a really good matchup spread. They feel pretty strong, and they're pretty cool team.
Yeah, I'd say Rekka's would be their like worst matchup by far. But I think all the other teams that got nerfed, like Canoptek used to be a problem, but then Canoptek got nerfed so hard it might, and like Wolf Scouts as well.
Yeah.
They got nerfed so hard that like this might be Angels of Death time to shine. Also, the new teams are just riddled with stuns and shock, and you
Yep.
just play Resolute and you're good to go. I don't know. Seems kind of nuts actually.
Yeah, the new stun resist is really big. Also, just having that the hardy breakpoint changes in melee changes quite a lot of maths as well for some of the. I think maybe for Celestiants, I think they got a good matchup into them. And definitely having some stun resists against Murderwing is going to be useful. So yeah, we'll see how they do.
Nice. Yeah, no disagreement from me. I'm actually gonna go a little bit out of order here from what we're seeing, just so we don't have George talking like 3 times in a row. So I'm just gonna get the big nasty one out of the way. Mandrakes. David,
So
you want to talk about this one?
I was gonna knock him down to A, but then I saw Breaching Charge, and I'm putting him back up at S. I actually think that makes the difference. That's so good. Like having the option to just teleport and breach turn 1,
Yep.
end of the turn, like and set up, because you can set up like Mandrakes have the best like interrupt setups you can think of, and being able to just basically threaten anything that's near a breach wall and on like at the end of turn 1 or at the end of turn 2, it's like unbelievable.
Yeah. Now they did get touched a bunch in this data slate. Do you want to talk about some of those things?
Oh yeah. I think the periodic projection nerf wasn't even enough. It should actually probably be nerfed harder. It no longer removes APLs. It doesn't affect APL at all anymore, which is good. But it only really mattered a lot against Canoptek, and Canoptek also got nerfed.
Right.
That's already a good matchup for Mandrakes. So I don't think it's a big deal.
And then
The nowhere to hide, you only really use it if you position poorly to begin with. It's kind of like a crutch if you need to use it to charge, because Mandrakes have the biggest charge range in the game. So yeah, I don't really see any significant nerfs. Night Fiend's a little more fair now,
yeah.
but
Yeah, I think the one thing that, like, for context, David Fake has been terrorizing us locally with Mandrakes. You've played a lot of games with them. You've won a few events now with them. So I think the biggest thing playing against them is the asymmetry they can create with their threats through the dash.
yeah,
So I was quite surprised they didn't add more like conditions to the out of activation
Harpers.
dash.
Yeah.
Yeah, just being able to charge to dash 3 inches and then charge is just really hard to play around for a lot of the
Yep.
teams. I think that's kind of the way they kind of break the game, and I don't think Games Workshop have touched that. So like the other nerfs will hurt them in the scoring a bit, but I still think like the core gameplay of them hasn't really kind of changed that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Dave?
I agree. I think like periodic projections still very broken ability. Like their ability to just out threat range just everything is still very like their main strength. If anything, like the biggest nerf was actually just the flank nerf.
Yep.
Kind of offset now with the breaching charge. That really makes all the difference. Like the reason I didn't bring them to Worlds and I chose Nemclaw instead was because I was like, oh no, I can't breach walls turn 1, and some of these maps really suck if you can't breach walls turn 1. But now you can, so it's not even a problem anymore.
True.
Yeah. No, the team seems crazy good.
Yeah.
And all the teams that were giving them trouble, the only team that I think like truly gives Mandrakes trouble now, Wreckas too, would be AOD and Wreckas. Like, just because they are just so well statted that like it doesn't matter what Mandrakes do,
Yeah.
you're gonna run into problems as soon as you try to actually throw dice at them.
Yep. Cool. Next one I will do is cults. So I'll talk about this one a bit. I don't know. I'll probably put them B and like stay in high B is sort of what I'm feeling. They didn't get touched. I know a bunch of people were clamoring for them to get nerfed in some sort of way. I didn't really see it. I think their matchups are a bit better now that Canoptek got toned down. That I think Deathwatch was okay. You were probably like 50-50 in the Deathwatch before, depending on the map and mission. Canoptek getting nerfed helps a lot. I think Murderwing sounds like hell. Like if they just run at you and they just want to do the AoE damage to you, they can just kill all your little guys and ignore your torments, and you sort of hate your life. Stun, the team also hates stun. They have no comms and nothing like that, so
Oh,
Murderwing's
yeah.
hard. I actually think they're fine into the new sisters. With charge mortals, even if they reduce the damage, if they're inspired, you still just like 2 or 3 hit them, and if you really need to, you can blow up. If you're trading 1-for-1 with a torment and one of the sisters, you're pretty happy. So yeah, I think they still like Mandrakes has always felt really hard. So as long as Mandrakes is still in like roughly its same shape, I think it's a pretty hard matchup. So I don't know. I think it's still B. They're still great. I think they require like a lot of work and a lot of mental load, and yeah, that's sort of what I'm
I
feeling.
think I think the big thing with the stats as well is I think you have to have a few reps. You've had to play against Colts quite a few times to kind of figure out what you need to do.
Yeah.
They're like that weird skew team where you have to approach the matchup in quite a specific way. And if you don't have the opportunity to play them that often and you come across them in the tournament, I could maybe see you getting surprised by them.
Yeah.
So I think that might explain some of the high win percentages that people are looking at. But yeah, like as a whole, I think once you kind of figure them out, be for balance sounds pretty reasonable, I think.
Yeah. Oh, also, the last thing I want to say on that is Wolves did get nerfed, so that helps a lot. I think that matchup was so messed up before, but now that their -1 attack only works when they're fighting, I think it's much more manageable. I don't actually know how that matchup's going to play out, but I'm not as terrified about it anymore, which is good. So, high B. That's where I'm sitting. Okay, we'll do another George one. B for Battleclade.
Oh, how long do you want this video to go on for?
You're capped at like 3 minutes.
Okay.
Cut the clock.
As an Arsenal fan, I didn't think I'd be mourning the loss of Spurs, but here we are. Yeah, I think the main changes are good. I think like the electromagnetic capacitors, that's a really good piece of equipment. I think opening it up to being able to shoot twice is really good.
Yep.
The melee equipment, fine. I never really took it because I value the utility you get from like placeable equipment more. What's the other change? The CP generation is good. I think it's going to be better in a future buff when they maybe perhaps buff the damage reduction if the team is still struggling.
Yep.
I think the core Games Workshop haven't really kind of addressed the kind of core issues of the team, which for me were they're kind of a counterpunch team, but you don't have enough models, or the models you have aren't durable enough. So I think they either need to increase the durability or they need to increase the number of models you have. So if you want to increase the durability, that's when you do the CP generation and then tie that to the damage reduction. I think like maybe making it like 4+ if they're within 6 of the shrimp dude or the auto proxy. That could be a quite nice change. But yeah, the big thing with Spur, I've been crying about it all day on various discords. I think it was probably one of the biggest parts of the team for like skill expression. It's basically, it was functionally for APL, because the key part about it was it lets you move, but that move wasn't a network counteract. So what that lets you functionally do is have another two APL like activation with that model. So it lets you do stuff like extend the threat range. It lets you dash and pick up a marker. While the new way of network counteracting is cool, I think it might feel a bit clunky in some cases, where you can't do cool stuff with after you move, basically. And I think that's my biggest issue with the change. I think it's probably as a whole, it's probably a side grade, but I'm really mourning the loss of Spurs.
Yeah. The other thing that's sort of I'm looking at it right now and it's sort of sneaky and they like snuck it in there was Blast 1 on the Phosphor Blasters. That's the 4-on-4s 3 like bolt gun, right?
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Like, I think if you get up to advantage, which you can do now with ladders with the network counteract,
Yeah.
you can get accurate 2-4-4 gun, but it hits on fours though. It just feels bad.
Yeah,
So
I think that's the main problem. It's sort of cheeky on Tomb World. You get lethal 5 then too, which is sort of cool. But yeah,
just
probably
take a
still
flamer.
nothing. Just take a flamer. Yeah, same thing. True. Where do you think they land? I tossed them in C.
C, I think C.
Yeah,
I
cool.
think C. I think nothing's from it. And also they got. Oh yeah, this is the other thing as well, right? Two horrendous matchups remain. I think Mandrakes, horrendous matchup. I'm not saying that just 'cause I lost to David in the final. And I think the release of Murderwing on Volcus is going to be a real problem for them. I think all that access to stun and high mobility
Yeah.
melee just seems rough to play around.
Murderwing
So,
sounds brutal because they have the force stun from the Screecher as well, or the Shrieker.
yep.
So like no matter what, you can't get him with the surprise network counteract.
Yep. So I think on maybe Into the Dark or Tomb World, it's probably more playable, but on Volcus it just seems brutal. I don't see how you can win that matchup if Murderwing are somewhat competent.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Next we will do let's do Exaction. I'm gonna let David talk about Exaction.
Oh. I haven't played this team a whole lot, but I've always thought it would be fun, and then I try it, and then I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
hitting on fours. No, the buffs seem crazy. The grenade launcher's just a heavy gunner now, like a heavy bolter, because it's 5 attacks on fours, 4-5 now, and it used to be like 4 on fours, 4-6. But the extra attack dice really matters because you have balanced and punishing, so that's 6 dice to roll a 6. That skews the odds a lot, I think. So now you're almost always getting your punishing, which means you're probably getting like 4 dice through, like 3 hits and a crit or something. Most of the time when you shoot that gun, that's a lot. Their main lacking was damage, especially with shooting, because that's their whole thing. They can shoot into melee.
Yep.
So that might be enough to like push them up into like A tier. I think they might be an A tier team now.
Really? I was gonna put them in C.
I thought they were. I think like they've always been on the cusp of being really good. They've just been a little bit shy of doing enough damage. Is like how I've always felt about them.
I was going to put them in B, so maybe we split the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
True.
I think they play the base game really well. I think they're really good at the crit up, which I think is really important in this ops pack where tack up points are harder to kind of come by. If you can kind of get a differential on crit, I think you're in a good spot. And I think these guys play the crit really well. So
Yeah. If you're thinking about the new teams as well, they can I think team wide ignore stun right with an equipment, which is good into stuff
Yeah.
like
Yes.
Murderwing.
it's really good.
Yeah.
And then Sisters being like mostly a melee team is what I would like classify them as. I think Exaction will be good into them. So
Yeah, that's a good point as well. Yeah.
I'm thinking like mid B, then maybe we adjust it later.
Yep. That's good.
Yeah, I think so.
Cool.
Seems about right.
So Dave team.
Yeah.
Their other buffs are like pretty relevant, I would say. They're not like the most, like one of them is their spotter doesn't have to be near the guy he's spotting for. So it's now like the scout squad spotter where he just points at a guy within 8 of himself, and then the next time someone shoots, they can ignore obscuring. Which is like a lot better than a typical spotter. So it's a pretty big.
That's true.
Yeah.
Minor nerf to manacles and chain snares as well, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
But, yeah, I mean, one's all you really need, so I don't know. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Cool. Next one, we'll do Salvagers. My hot take has always been, even before this, that I think this is like an A tier team. I get grief every time I say this. I also don't want to play the team, so I can't really prove it because they're sort of boring in my eyes, but I think they're sick. I'm gonna put them in A, and then you guys can shit on me. So they got.
Nah, I'm in the same boat as you.
All right. They got a few buffs. One of them was needs keeps, which is the one where they get +1 attack and they control +1 APL on the point or something like that. I can't even remember what it is off the top of my head. If they already had 4 attacks, they get balanced now, which is pretty nice for a few operatives. The other one was the Cognitar. It's now worded as balanced instead of a reroll. I think it's a change there, right? I can't even see.
I think so, yeah. It's like a minor nerf, isn't it? It's like
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The big one though is the climbing equipment, right?
The big one's the climbing equipment, which is sick, where you're treating the total vertical distance as 2, which is really nice, and then you ignore drops. You also do get a free equipment slot on this team from the lugger if you take it, so you're not as pressed for equipment slots. So when you are on Vulcus, you sort of get the freebie from the lugger if you're taking him. I think this helps a lot because it stops you from having to take ladders. It's sort of just like a side grade from ladders, but it's team wide and you don't have to position the ladder, which is really, really situationally good. Yeah, and you can just, especially for stuff like the dozer, where you could like charge over a, like one of the L runes and stuff now. I could see that being really strong because you're ignoring the drop and you're treating the whole climb as 2. So you basically have a 5-inch charge, which is sort of sick.
Yeah.
Also lets you stage and up advantage points as well.
Yeah.
So asymmetry, right? But it's often really hard for your opponent to reach you, but then you can still kind of like threaten areas of the board or threaten operatives. So I think that's pretty really strong.
But I think like the core of this team and everything that they have now, I think they have all the tools to, like, especially with Canoptek going down. I think they had a hard time into Canoptek and could never really kill Canoptek, but I think they have sort of everything. They have the jump pack asymmetry, they can do all that. They have basically a free APL on a stick with Ancestors are watching, I think is one for a free fight or a free shoot. So you can have like 4 APL guys if you've already APL buffed them. You have the infinite range comms. Yeah, they have good tac ups, they have recon and security. So I think they have it all there. I think it's a very hard team to play because it's a lot of like putting tokens down on the board, overlapping auras, and just like really, really good positioning to sort of get the whole juice out of the team. So I think they're an A tier team. I don't know, George, you agree, disagree?
I was going to put them in B, but I quite like the idea of A. And if we're wrong, I'll just blame you.
That's a good idea.
They're a team made for Warhammer 40k players. Like I've seen Davey play 40k, and he's on like he plays so quick.
Yep.
Like by the time I finish like my typical turn 1 in that game, he's already finished an entire like 4 rounds. So if you can play like that, then you can play this team.
Yeah, true.
I think the other thing as well is I think they're as like an archetype with their faction ability they're really good into elites, and if elites are common in people's meta, and if you know how to kind of play that kind of counterpunchy kind of goring play style, I think they're set up quite well into that. So
yeah,
just avoid Mandrakes. That's the big thing, right? That matchup is it's horrendous. It's probably like a 90-10.
To be fair, they have a similar, like, one of the reasons, little bit of a tangent, one of the reasons I think AOD are good, and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong, is Indomitus or whatever that ploy is, basically sort of guarantees you're going to get like 1 or 2 saves basically every time because of how it works. Salvagers have like the same thing. They're only 8 wounds, so you're probably going to get charged and killed, but something there if Mandrakes is ever shooting you.
Yeah, I think the big thing is the 8 wounds, right? Because like unlike sisters who have the similar
Well, also...
profile, they get 2 taps. So in melee. So yeah, if you have somewhat competent melee, like just being able to trade effectively, don't shoot them and just run at them in melee. I think they find that quite hard to deal with.
That's fair.
Sorry, David, I interrupted you. What were you going to say?
Also, there are only 2 APLs, so like it's not as like effective. Like you could just easily miss all 3. So even if you retain one,
Yep,
like still kind of getting blapped.
that's true.
Yep. 5 up saves, 8
Yep,
wounds. Not great.
cool. This one is back to George. We will do Blades of Khaine.
I think solid B.
Yeah.
I think they're good. Hard to play. I think the nerfs to Canoptek, the nerfs to Wolf Scouts probably helped them quite a bit. I think the biggest weakness of the team currently is the fact that they're so reliant on their faction equipment. So basically, 3 of your slots are kind of dedicated to making your team kind of function well, and you don't have enough equipment slots to kind of like modify the battlefield through ladders or through other stuff. I normally take heavy barricade. But yeah, that's still pretty good. Having access to all attack ops is good. I do think that a lot of teams can deal the 8 wound breakpoint very easily now. I think we'll come on to that later with teams like Kroot and like the new sisters.
Yep.
I think teams with 8 wounds can be interesting to kind of keep tabs on them in this new meta and seeing how they perform, because that's something that I'm a little bit worried about. But just don't get hit. That's what I say.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. B tier. We will go and do Nemclaw for Mr. Nemclaw himself.
Uh, I don't know. I think their worst matchups, which were Canoptek and Wolf Scouts, just got a lot better. I think they're fine into Murderwing, and they're probably really good into Sisters. So I guess that means they're A tier.
So the only change they had was the chainsaw one, right?
Yeah, the global chain nerf. But like 1 is all you need. Like
Yep.
you just need it to work the 1 time, and then like you're fine. So yeah, I mean it's not really a nerf.
What do you normally take for attack ops of this team? So that's like the one thing I'd be a bit
Yep.
worried about running them.
Almost every single time it's Steel Intelligence.
Okay.
There's like one small scenario where you might consider track enemy. But that one was like specifically for bad matchups. Like against Canoptek and stuff where you know they're going to be playing Envoy or
Yep.
Plant Banner or something. You can like try to play this weird crit op game where you score track enemy, but I think it's really hard, and that's basically like that used to be their only play into Canoptek. I think now they have a much easier time dealing with it. They probably just do Steel Intelligence like for everything.
Cool. I'm gonna take this one. I'm gonna take
Scout
Scouts.
Dave.
Scout Dave. I'm putting them in C. I still don't think it's enough. So they got a bunch of changes. The biggest one was I don't have it in front of me, but the forward scouting equipment where you get +1 APL that you can use in the strat phase, you get another charge on it. This is you get 2 charges with 1 use of that forward scouting, which is really, really good. That was probably the best forward scouting thing anyways. So that's amazing. They let the heavy gunners, all 3 of the heavy gunners, including the snipers, shoot twice now. But similar to some of the Astartes ones, they have to spend an additional APL to shoot twice. I think this is really cute that you can sort of combo the forward scouting +1 APL with this. So if you situationally get into a spot where you can either do the recon dash forward and then +1 APL your guy and then double shoot, that's going to feel really, really good and really strong. Double shooting a silent sniper, this is the only one in the game that I know of that you can do that. So that's also pretty cute. But I don't know. Getting those double shoots off, I think, is going to be really, really hard. The 4/4 damage is nice and it's consistent, but I think the hardest thing with this team is still tac ops. You're a 9-body team with pretty limited APL. You're recon and infiltration, and I don't think you do either of those particularly well. You can't really play flank with just how the team works. You can play retrieve, but it's really starting to like clamp down on the total APL
Well, I think
that you
White Dave
have.
was good. Yeah, total APL.
Yeah.
You there?
Yep. Oh, did I cut out?
Yeah, we lost you.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know where the rant cut out, but basically, scouts are C tier. I think they're better. Maybe they're B tier after I get a few games in and I get to sort of see how they go. But I think TAC Ops is the main problem. That's going to be the
I
problem
think
for the team.
an action economy, right? Like compare their action
Yeah.
economy to Hand of the Archon or Sisters.
Yep.
Not doesn't compare. I think they're roughly even to Battleclade. I think.
Yeah. Cool. George, you can do. Let's do one of the new teams. You want to do the new sisters, George?
Yeah. What do you think? I think it's either A or B. I think they're good. Let's be optimistic and put them in A. I think. I think they're a team with a lot of bookkeeping. To bring a clock. I think it's the basic warriors are really good. They got enough. They got a errata, didn't they? Where you can't use the denuncia to do the dash or the charge, which is a nice clarification.
Yep.
Getting rid of new spur and like teams they you didn't even like ask for.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
They're
I
just
think
out to get you, dude.
yeah. I think they're good. I think 9 wounds is a really good break point. I think damage reduction is good, and yeah, we'll see what people do.
I was gonna say B for this one, just because I think A might get cluttered quickly, and I think they're because of all the bookkeeping and all of the just positioning requirements that they have around giving out the buff and getting the inspired or martyrs. I don't remember what it's called. I think it might be just a lot to get the juice out of them at the start. So maybe they are an A tier team, but I would sort of lean towards B. It's like what my gut says.
We both tried them already.
I played against them and lost every game.
Yeah.
Maybe that says
For sure.
something. I'm not very good at the game though.
Yeah, they're on that borderline, right? I haven't played against them enough to know. I think Angels of Death probably do a quite good matchup into them.
Yeah.
I think the other teams. Do you think Nemclaw deal them well, David?
I'm scared to put him in B tier because I have a feeling like it's gonna be like the Mandrakes thing. You put them in B tier, or like people put them in like B and C, and then like 8 months later they win Worlds, no changes.
Yep.
Yeah, let's even know. I think it's enough juice there. I think people will.
Yeah, I think
discover it.
They seem on paper like you read their rules and you're like that. All this shit seems really good.
Yep.
I can't find a single thing about this team's rules that doesn't seem cracked. So
Fair.
Yeah, I'm sure someone's gonna figure out how to make it work.
Cool. A tier it is. David will do Hand of the Archon next.
Oh, because I've been playing against Henry?
Yeah. You've been playing against Henry like 7,000 times, so you probably know this better than anybody.
Probably S tier. Maybe it's just Henry though. He's a real gamer. I don't know. He just runs at me and I can't do anything except like just fight for my life the entire game. I'm like sweating from second activation. Yeah, it's their buff is huge. It's probably a bigger buff than the last one they got, and they just keep getting buffed.
What was the buff? Do you mind running us through it?
They can, so now they don't have to hand out APL as a strategic gambit, which means they can always skip without foregoing the pain tokens. Not handing out APL, handing out pain tokens.
Yep.
Also, there was one other thing, right? I'm trying to find it.
Oh, the leader gets a pain token when he shoots, which is pretty good. It's basically pseudo 3 APL or ceaseless.
Yeah. He's effectively like a Wrecka. Does he get it at the start of his shot? I didn't read it carefully.
I think so, yeah. I think he gets it before he does the fight or shoots, and then if he kills or injures, he gets another one.
Yeah, so he can already like use it for ceaseless if he really needs to, which is really important. Yeah, they seem really good. They were already good before the buffs. Like they were already, I would say, S tier before these buffs. I think they might be top of S. Yeah, they're really good.
That's a spicy take. That's a spicy take. I'd personally put them in A.
I'd put them in A.
Yeah. They're so good, dude. I don't know.
I think they're really good. I think the skip, having 10 activations on a team like that with lots of access to 3 APL is really good. and like they hit the breakpoint. They hit 8 wounds really well as well. But I think if we're looking at a lot of the other matchups in ANS or what potentially could be there, I think it's interesting to see how those breakpoints line up because I think it's a sisters. I guess you just shoot them instead, right? With P2.
True.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
still think
the main thing is they're so good at being aggressive. Like, you don't, it doesn't matter how squishy they are when every single one of them can kill just about anything. Because it turns out if you like can consistently get 3 crits on all of your weapons, you don't really need anything else. You just
you just have to hex Henry's dice. That's what you got to do.
yeah, you just need to start like doing voodoo curses on his dice to win these games. But like they get it so easy, right? Like if they fight and they have Darkness Death, they get a crit just from like having that, and then they have Rending, and then they have Lethal 5 and Balanced and Ceaseless.
Yeah.
It's like inevitable they're gonna get 4 crits.
It is nuts as well, right? Because I think coming from last edition as well, they had the dice quality, they didn't have the dice consistency. But I think this
Mhm.
edition they kind of marry both. They have rerolls and they also have upgrades into crits. So yeah, whenever they roll, you expect to roll 2 or 3 crits with rending.
Yeah. Or like you
Which,
see their guns and it's like a 2/4 Lethal 5 gun, you're like, that's fine. But then they shoot it and then every now and then they're just gonna get 4 crits
Yep.
and there's nothing you can do. You just go down.
I think Angels of Death are probably a bad matchup for them. It's
I
probably
think. Go. Sorry.
go for it, Dave.
I was gonna say, I think Salvagers is actually a pretty good matchup, partially because of the
Yep.
ploy where you can turn all the crits to normals.
Oh, true. That's
The
really good.
way that they have their save ploy works now, their piercing guns, if you're ever getting shot with a Melta, you're gonna guarantee one save. Do they piercing 1 much on that team?
Um,
Just crits, I think. Just rending.
no, they have blasters, so they have like
Lethal
2
5 up.
piercing 2 guns and
Yeah.
then a bunch of piercing nothing guns.
Yeah. And then you have like enough asymmetry with like the jump pack that if you ever just stave the jump track aggressively, you can just charge fight, crack something, and probably get a double kill there. And I think if you ever double kill them before you don't give them anything, it's pretty hard for them to sort of claw their way back. But I haven't played it. Henry and I have talked about playing it, but one day.
Yeah, I'd be curious. I'd be really curious because your Salvagers also have bad breakpoint, right? At 8 health, all it takes
Yep.
is 2 crits from
Yep.
any pocket knife.
That do be true.
I still think I don't think they break the game fundamentally like Mandrakes do.
That's true. They play a lot more honest. Although those sneaky dashes, every time they get a kill, they get a cute little proclivity.
That's true.
You always forget about it, and it like proclivity is one of the strongest rules in the game. I don't know.
I'm
Gets me
leaving
every
him in
time.
S. We can't talk about Hoda all day.
It's too
It,
spicy.
it can be a spicy hot take, but that's what this is. So
It's on me. It's on me. If people flame,
exactly,
it's on me.
I'll put your
Yeah.
home address in the comments.
Uh,
That was you, so it's back to me. I'm gonna take Raveners. I think I put Raveners in A tier. I've been on and off the team, playing around with the team. I think they're still pretty good. I think with Canoptek getting nerfed, I think it's a much easier time. I think Canoptek gatekept a lot of teams. They saw a nerf in the last data slate. I think it just made the team harder to play. I think they functionally play the exact same way, and you can do a lot of the same stuff. You just didn't get sort of a free unburrow when you won initiative. You have to take a bit more risk now, but there's still 20 wounds. They still have a lot of shenanigans that they can pull. Yeah, I think they're still an A tier team. I think they just won like a big West Coast tournament as well. That was pre-data slate, but they didn't get touched, and I don't know. I don't think any of the new teams particularly caused them too much grief. I might be wrong about that.
They're really hard to evaluate, right? Just
Yeah.
because I think that when they can take dominate, they feel really strong.
Yep.
I think once once you kind of get down to some of the attack up choices, I think that's when their game kind of falls apart a bit. But then again, they suppress their opponent's score as well by kind of denying them attack ups as well. So
Yep.
Yeah, pretty quite map dependent. I do think they feel strong. I think A, B, that kind of borderline is pretty where I put them.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's either the bottom of A or the top of B. Is sort of how I feel about it.
Yep.
Sweet.
Get into Mandrakes as well.
Good in Mandrakes. Well, I think as soon as Mandrakes got flank, I think it becomes a bit harder. Before flank, I actually think because their armor save got buffed and everything into Mandrakes. But
Because actually, there's one exact moment where they suddenly were bad into Mandrakes, and it's when they, at the very start of Worlds, announced that flank requires Holy Within. That specific moment was the moment where they were bad against Mandrakes. Right up until then, they were great.
yeah, fair.
But fitting those big bases wholly onto your opponent's side of the board is really hard.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, should we move on?
Yep, we're moving on. That one was me, so it's back to George. Let's get this one out of the way. Mr.
Oh,
Canoptek.
mate, I haven't even read the Canoptek thing. What have they done?
Yeah. I think it's up near the top.
Their warriors are like more in line with what warriors should be.
Yep.
So they have one less damage across the board, one less attack on their melee. What else?
Accurate
I've
one.
got a bit of a hot take.
Accurate
here, right?
one, that's a big one.
So I think this team has too much APL. I think like if you look at the Necron teams, right? I think the whole design philosophy is they start with a fewer number of APL compared to most teams, but through reanimation and through respawn, the total number for their APL kind of stays the same throughout the game. So they've got like less of a kind of a floor. But I think the team having 3 APL just being on the node matrix is just makes them too kind of efficient.
Yep.
In terms of kind of playing the game. I think they deny attack ops really well. Like imagine if you're a seek and destroy and infiltrate team going into them. I don't think anything's fundamentally changed there. Like the warriors are slightly less efficient and less bad and less good at doing damage. But they still score. They still play the game really well. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see where they land. I think maybe top of A.
Yeah.
Top of bottom of S. Maybe so. I don't know.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's sort of the same thing. There's also basically a medic to bring it in line with other medics in the game, but I don't think it functionally matters. You basically do nothing with your medic, or you just heal someone on the matrix anyways. So getting -1 basically doesn't matter. If your spider gets shot and gets rezzed on 1, you can still use your accelerator to buff it back up and shit like that. So I think you're right where it's just about playing the mission and creating roadblocks and doing all the shit with the warriors, and as long as they're expendable, I think it's still going to be a problem with the team and just the amount of like wounds and healing and all the other nonsense.
I don't know.
One other thing as well is I think the accurate one does reduce consistency quite a bit as well as on 4s, but still having access to C. So it's like I like it is like a kind of casino, like top machine every time you're going to roll the dice. But I think with like command, you can kind of make the important operatives like shoot twice and stuff. So I think eventually you'll spike. I still think they're a really strong team, but gone. David, prove us wrong.
Yeah.
I hard disagree. I don't know. I think they relied heavily on the warrior damage. And the nerf is really complete. Like the explosion damage is only 1 now. I don't know why it says on a 2-up. It should just be. It was on a 3-up, right? I think that must be a typo.
I think it's a D3, so that you need to roll a 3.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's why it doesn't make sense in my head. But the explosion's only being 1 damage now, and the all the weapons just doing way less. Like they only have 3 attacks. They don't get accurate 2. And like the Gauss Scalpel gave me nightmares. Like I would go home from a game against Shane and like just like stay up at night thinking like, how did that thing, it didn't even have accurate and it did 12 damage to my elite.
Yep.
How did that happen? Like I think the threat of warriors and like the fact that they could do so much damage and never get punished because they're expendable is like what made the team cracked. I think this is like more of a nerf than you would think because they just don't have that much output from without the warriors. Like at least punching a little every time they die and like being able to threaten things. Like if you charge and pass on a warrior, he's gonna make it fight you, and you're gonna take like 8 damage. So I think it's way more than you would think. Now you charge and pass on a warrior, you take probably 4. probably.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Do you
So-
think like bottom of A? I still think they're good. Like sticking this
Yeah, I mean,
recon
my
and
opinion, they're like B, but that's just my opinion.
I mean, maybe we will got PTSD.
I'm also like I'm thinking about it like playing Nemclaw into them because it's the only matchup I really know from Canoptek, and I think that's what mattered the most. So
True.
like in my head, it's like, oh, this is now playable. Versus like if they just nerfed the APL, I don't think it would have mattered for that matchup.
I think that's actually a really good point. I think elites probably match up better into them now. But I think anything still with 8 wounds will still probably have a hard time dealing with the tomb crawlers.
Yep.
I think they
Yeah.
will probably still stat check a bunch. The Geomancer's still really strong.
That's
Cool.
true.
All right. Bottom of
We'll
it
see.
is.
That's fun to watch.
Okay, David. What do you get to talk about? Oh, here you go. You just played this team.
Top of S, better than Hoda. No, I don't know. I have no idea. I played them once and I like kind of just blundered my way into winning somehow. I let you charge 3 Ratlings and it turned into actually a good play somehow. Yeah, I have no idea. Probably A tier. They seem good. The buff was really nice. Every single time I used the equipment, I used both.
Yep.
So the buff is very relevant.
Yeah.
I don't know. I couldn't
He's
tell
getting
you for the
quite-
life of me.
He's getting quite crowded.
Yeah, this is sort of what I was worried about with all this
Yeah,
stuff. But
maybe top of B just to keep it, a little spread out.
Yeah,
think that's
hard to
fine.
play.
Yeah.
I think they got good scoring opportunities, good crit up.
Yep.
Um,
Cool. I'll take this one. So Aquilons didn't get touched in this whole thing, did they?
Nope.
they got flank nerf.
They got a flank nerf. I still think they can play flank completely fine with just sort of how they play the game, especially on TP2. It probably will impact them for TP3, so they're probably getting 4 on this pretty consistently. I think the team really like peters off closer to the end of the game. Like I think controlling 2 flanks as Aquilons is actually pretty hard if someone doesn't engage with you on TP2 and TP4 because they're just going to kill so many bodies. I don't know. I think this team is like either high B or low A. I'm gonna
They're a
put
good
it
team.
in B.
Solid, right?
Yeah, they're a solid team. They have good tac
Yeah.
ops. They have 2 meltas. They basically force your opponent to go behind on TP2 unless they want to engage, which you don't want to into them. So I think they're just a really solid horde team or horde light team, whatever you want to use that justification as. But yeah, we'll put them in B since A is getting crowded, and I think they probably struggle into some of these. Cool. George can take.
Oh, give me Deathwatch. Give me Deathwatch.
If you want Deathwatch, okay, you can have
Yeah.
Deathwatch.
I think bottom of B, maybe even C. Toughest.
I was gonna
No,
say
C.
C.
I might have hit him with a D.
The F? You're gonna put him down below Scouts? There's no fucking way.
No, wait, I misread it. I remember I thought it was F,
C.
but I misread it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna hold my hands up here. I was wrong about the team. I don't think they're very good. I didn't think they were very good before the Dataslate. I thought they were good, but then I've played against them a bunch. I kind of know most of their tricks now, and I think good players know how to play around them. I think the 5 operatives is a real downside. I think you really have to be thinking ahead and using the 2 APL counteracts. Then you have like the variants as well. So like if they get like a bad roll early, it could be really tough for them. I just think a lot of players know how to deal with Marines. I think and having Marine teams with one less body, I think that's just quite hard.
And they saw a bunch of nerfs, right?
And they saw a bunch of nerfs, yeah.
So they got the piercing from their special issue is now piercing crits 1. They removed rending as an option, which is big. They have to be wholly within for long vigil. Long vigil was which one? Whenever
That's the
an operative
reroll
shoots.
saves.
Yeah.
Real
So
shoots. Apparently they got another nerf as well with the servo skull as well on 2 months.
No.
That was a really strong thing they could
Oh
do.
yeah.
Where they could breach a marker and then still move and shoot. So I think a lot of their kind of tricks on Tomb World, which was probably the map they were strongest on, have been kind of like toned down a bit.
Yep.
And I just think they're a worse Angel of Death now. So
Yeah. Same thing with their damage reduction ploy. It's wholly within now. And then the biggest one I think is maybe it's not the biggest one. The 2 APL counteract, you can't fight and shoot. So I think there was probably situations late in the game where they would get into a spot where it's like, okay, I want initiative, I fight, kill, shoot later into that, or sorry, on a counteract. And I think just taking away that power where you can get double kill counteracts, I don't know, just removes a lot from the team. So
Yeah, for sure. Also, just like they're weak to crits now for shield that slays. So
Yep.
you can like there's a lot of teams that spam a lot of crits.
Sure.
And that'll just go right through.
Fair.
Also, like a lot of their game plan was standing on the center line and getting both buffs.
Yep.
So that really puts it. It's weird. The rending was not even the best one behind piercing, which is it's weird that they got rid of that. I think the dev one, if you crunch the numbers, was slightly better most of the time. Anyway, side topic.
Side topic. All right. See, fuck them. David, Wreckas. Another one you've played into a lot, I think.
Not as much as. Yeah, I don't know. I think they're really good. I think they're S tier.
I think they're top of A.
I think top of A, yeah.
We have very different opinions on which teams are S tier. I think they're really good into just about every good team I can think of. And
Mandrakes good into them, right?
no,
You think it's not?
I think they're quite solid into Mandrakes, especially now. The periodic nerf, not taking away their APL is pretty big. But also just like you never want to charge and fight a Wrecka as a Mandrake because you need 2 crits. And if they roll 1, you need 3 crits.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're just going to just scratch and kill you on your own charge, and take most of the time take nothing, or not most of that, but like if you don't roll a crit, they just take nothing and they kill you. So
I think what they do, they make you play a weird game, right? Where you're not playing kill team against them, you're playing hide team. And as soon as you get into like a shootout with them, they start rolling the 6s. So like you want to kind of be stalling and scoring and trying to play this like weird kind of control game against them.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of the teams in the top bracket probably can do that. I think I can see Hand of the Archon punching through them with all their crits. I think Angels of Death can probably do it on 2 mod. Blockers is hard. Hearthkin, I was talking to Bart from the UK. He seems to think it's a really strong matchup. For them, I think Nemclaw are probably okay into them.
Nah, Nemclaw have trouble with Wreckas.
Yeah, Rabinus I can see having trouble.
I think Wreckas are good into like all the elites, like as like a
they're good
blanket
into
statement.
Canoptek. Yep. Then I think
it's really
they're bad
hard to deal with. Sorry, go ahead.
I think they're bad into a lot of the beta teams. Then I think Blade. Maybe I'm coming at this from like an elf perspective because I've never had too much trouble with them with elves.
Yeah, similar like. Oh, did I get? No, I didn't get disconnected. Similar with cults. I never really had trouble with them as cults as long as you like. They're 2 APL until you let them be 3 APL, and as long as you're just like waiting them out on like TP2 and just not giving them anything, there comes a point when you're just like throwing torments into them and you just create the maze where they have to navigate over all the equipment. And I don't like they can punch holes through walls and stuff like that, but I don't know. I think they're really good. Don't get me wrong. Like I think they're top of A. I just don't think they're S tier. Or just like skewing a thing too much where they just warp the game.
Yeah, maybe I just lost to them too many times.
Fair.
It skewed my perspective.
So it's me.
Did we Hierotek?
Yeah, we can do Hierotek. I'm starting to play Hierotek. They got the only change that they got basically changed the kill op for them. So they have the weird bullshit again where when their guys resurrect, it actually reverts the kill op. So they're a 5-op team now instead of an 8-op team with that. So I think it's actually a pretty good spot. I think it's a pretty fair thing that they changed about them. I think they're sick. I would probably personally put them in A. I think we're gonna see Hierotek come back and everyone be grumpy again.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yep.
I think it's probably somewhere like I think it might be like that. That's my spicy take. Like,
that's really spicy.
Oh, okay. I think Hierotek is good into AOG. It's good into Nemclaw. Like they are historically good into elites. I don't know how they do into Salvagers or um, Raveners, but
They historically were going to do elites because turn 1 they
that's true.
threatened everything. But now if you're on a map, like unless you're on a map where you can't really cross the board, like it's a Tomb World map that really restricts your movement, you can kind of just run at them turn 1 and there isn't anything they can do. And then turn 2 you have like 3 or 4 charges with any elite team. You're just gonna rip them a new asshole. Yeah, I don't know. It's the last 2 times I played against them before they got the double tap nerf. I just tabled them.
True.
As an M-Claw. It was not really close, actually. Yeah, I don't know.
Don't do something like that.
Could have
Oh,
just been luck, though.
I think they're hard to play as well, right? So I think the
Yeah.
difference between like a really good Hierotek player and a average one is pretty quite big.
Yeah.
That's true. I think Shane was already off of them. And
the some stuff from the previous data slates that they still have, and there's like debate from what I've read about this, but the way that Magnify is worded now, only the operative you're magnifying through has to be on engage. So the Cryptek or the Apprentech could be on conceal. So there's no like real truth to this. I don't know. I think raw, if you actually read it, that is the way that it reads.
You've been listening to too much
I've been
Russian
listening.
propaganda.
I've been
Dave.
listening to all the
You've been listening to
propaganda.
too much
Listen,
Russian propaganda on Discord. That's what
if
you've
it
been
works
listening
for
to.
me.
let me give this a read.
Yeah. So
no way.
Yeah. Anyways, we're not going down a fucking Hierotek rabbit hole, but I'm right. So we'll leave him in A.
I'm excited. I'm excited to play into them. I think it'd be fun to kind of see where they're at. So.
Yeah, I think so too. David. Oh no, it's George. Yeah, it's George now. What do you want to do?
Let me take Kasrkin. Kasrkin, put them in B.
Yep, I think so. I think they're high B. Might be top.
I think
of B.
they're really good skew team. I think with good play they should dismantle elites, especially the Seek and Destroy and security elites. I think Murderwing will give them problems. Mandrakes give them problems. They're just like the opposite Goremongers. So instead of like kind of skewing melee, they skew shooting. And I think with a really strong, once you've kind of like thought about the team a lot and kind of mastered the main play patterns, I think the team's got a lot of potential, which Thomas from Twin Hammer has been showing us locally.
Nice. Yeah, I think they do just get gatekept by a bunch of shit. Like, I still don't know how they deal with Canoptek well, or like Raveners. Like, there's just a bunch of stuff that I don't think they can punch through. So they probably just sit as, like you said, like that skew team that just sort of just, if you meet a bunch of elites in a tournament, you're gonna do really well.
Good in teams.
Yeah, good in teams too. That's true. David, I'm just gonna keep making you talk about stuff that Henry plays, so you get to talk about Goremongers.
Teams. The thing is, Henry makes these teams look good. He's just, I hate to say it, he's good at the game.
Stop simping on Henry.
Stop, exactly. You've got to ban him from this video. His head will be too big after this.
You keep giving me Henry's teams. They really leaned on the Insider before. I think if you're really good at like assessing, you have to really be like good at like kind of risk analysis when it comes to spinning your bloods. And like when is it a good idea to stage aggressively and stuff. But I think if you do it right, this team is able to beat just about any team. Like you're always rolling dice because it's a fighty team. That's just how it is. If you whiff, you kind of start losing. But you can I think they're like the kind of team that can set themselves up to win any matchup, like with decent odds. So I guess I'd give them a really good, like top of B, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe bottom of A.
Being bottom of A, yeah. I was going to say I think they'd be quite well positioned. Just looking at the teams in the top bracket, they're probably bad into Ages of Death, bad into probably unfavored into Ages of Death, unfavored into Rabs, pretty good into both the Canoptek teams.
You think favored? I was going to say they're unfavored into Rabs.
Yeah, sorry, I meant that unfavored into Rabs. Yeah, pretty quite good into the other elf teams. I think they're really good. I think the only matchup I'd be worried about with them is Murderwing, because I think that one could be quite hard with a lot all
Yeah.
their mortal wounds and then followed by pistol shots.
Yep.
Um,
Do Ravs double shoot?
No, but
no,
you can never like problem with the Rabs and like why I think they're up there is they just like skew the whole game that you normally play, and it's like you're never gonna want to charge them on the tunnel. They're gonna fight you first. Um, they're only 5 operatives, so they're just gonna wait until like they can counteract and burrow after you charge them and shit like that. So I think they just really like warp how you traditionally play the game, and if you like engage into Ravs at the wrong time, it just goes sideways. So I don't know. I've only played that matchup like twice, and I've won it both times as Ravs, but that's not saying a lot.
all right. So what do you think? Top of B, bottom of A.
I was gonna say top of B. I was also considering like trimming A, but we don't have to do that yet.
Put in bottom of A. I think they're
All right,
I think they're
bottom
good.
A.
I might start playing them. I think
Oh,
they're fun.
that's why he wants them in. That was David. I want to talk about this one now. Speaking of another A team, and I'll hear no further slander. Uh, I think this team is sick. I think they sort of have everything now. They didn't even get touched in this data slate, but with Canoptek getting toned down a bunch, I think that was one of those like borderline unwinnable matchups if the Canoptek player was good. I think they're really good into elites. I think Murderwing probably give them some trouble on Vulcus because they can sort of just like fly over you and charge all the guys that were trying to sit on advantage. I think they are quite good into the new Sisters team. Um, and I think if even on Tomb World, the more that I played it, it's actually not as bad as I thought. Like it's not nearly as like game breaking as I thought it was at the start. You just sort of have to get used to it, and you sort of have to really lean on like the shade strain, um, and just like your weight of dice. Like you're basically shooting 4 attacks with double balanced every time you shoot, and it's basically the same profile across the whole team. So it's a little bit of like a casino cannon, but when you have like the lethal 5 buff and everything like that, they just start like one-shotting almost everything. So
You got the breach buff now as well.
and you got the breach buff now. So if you do want the door open turning point 1 to do stuff, you basically have Seek Light anywhere that you want it on Tomb World when you need it. And you can just push through like all their plays are pretty good. I don't know. I think the team is just really, really good. It took a while for it to
It's
like all click with me, but
it's like that threat saturation, right?
yeah.
Like you kind of just set up enough one way shots, and like eventually the kind of dice will. You set up enough like 55 percenters, and eventually it will kind of flip, right?
Yeah. And like you said with the one ways, you just take a bunch of equipment. I think like what you were doing on Battleclade, and you create the Great Wall. Everyone has to deal with getting over that to come interact with you, and you don't have to play that same game. So especially on Vulcus, they feel like an S tier team outside of like the Mandrake matchup and maybe one or two more. And then Tomb World brings them closer to like a B or an A. So yeah, maybe a hot take, but that's where I sit on them. George, what do you want to talk about? Krew?
Yeah, let's talk about Crew. Pretty good. I think B.
Yeah.
They got damage now. They do 8 wounds really well. I still don't think they do particularly well on stuff like Ancients of Death, particularly on Tomb World. But I think as most of the teams are fine. So they're good against elves now.
And they
Are
saw some buffs, yeah?
They saw some big buffs. They got 5 damage crits on all their weapons essentially. All their 3/4 weapons are now 3/5. Or like all their for the melee at least, that's how it is, except the dogs. And then the Pistolier has 3/5, lethal 5, rending ceaseless. He is no joke. He can give it piercing 1 with the equipment. Not rending, sorry, I was wrong. It's just 3/5 ceaseless lethal 5. He can give it piercing 1. And if you're shooting the kill target, it's balanced on top of that. That's a lot of damage.
True.
Especially since he shoots first. If you try to shoot him, that's kind of wild, actually.
I think I've just got too much disrespect for Farstalker. I played Shane too much, and he hasn't had a good time.
I thought you were
Yeah.
saying Shane's bad at the game.
We all know that he is.
Yeah,
The hands of the Archon files won't be released.
yeah, exact. Oh, yeah. I think I agree with B. Maybe they're A after all the dust settles and
Maybe
everything, but
they do play crit really well, I have to
yeah,
say.
they do. And they play tack well, just because of poach or whatever it's called. I think like depending on how they want to play, they can do that well.
Yeah.
Cool.
And just looking into the teams we have at the top, like
Yeah.
it looks rough.
All right, David. You get to talk about one you have no idea about. You can talk about Sanctifiers.
Give me I think I could talk about Wolf Scouts.
Yeah, talk about Wolf Scouts because I don't know a lot about them.
I don't know. I know nothing
Um,
about them. So
They were a huge stat check, and now they are not. They're actually a team now, so I'm curious to see where they end up. Like it's before they were like top of S,
Yeah.
and now it's like nobody knows because now they actually get to play the team instead of just run at people. It could be like the Legionary situation where they like nerf the team, and then suddenly the team starts performing even better because now people who are waiting for the nerf start to pick up the team and start to figure out how to play it properly.
that's a really good point.
But I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, not getting -1 attacks when you fight them is a big deal, and the leader not being completely broken. So the changes that he used to be when he died, you would take damage for having fought him, and then he could fight back. So if you ended that fight like at 7 health, he just kills you.
Yep.
Which is kind of absurd when you think about it. So now he doesn't get to do that, which is a pretty big nerf. And the and just in general, them not doing damage after fighting, if they fight you, is pretty big. So yeah, they need to actually think. Probably B is where I think they are now. They really leaned heavily on the things that got nerfed. So
Yeah.
yeah, B.
I was gonna say B or A. I think that might be A when everything
I think
settles.
that is still, yeah. I think they probably need a bit more tapping. I think, but yeah.
You still get guard from conceal on open. Like it's still just like a bunch of like problematic stuff.
Like,
Yeah, that's true. But it's not the scariest gun. It's not like the Phobos guard and
that's true.
conceal
That's
that
true.
will like
They've
just
got- they've got-
annihilate you.
they have like everything though as well, right? They got like stun reduction. They have like -1 damage and melee through the equipment. They have quite good
Oh yeah,
combat
that didn't get
ability.
nerfed.
Yeah, so I think the most egregious stuff got nerfed, but I still think that overall package is still really strong. 7-inch move as well. Like
Yeah.
they've got a lot. They got Seek Light, anti-obscuring. They've got like any good rule you can kind of think of. They have or had. So
Yeah. All right, maybe we'll take a
Okay,
pass at
it's
the
fine.
very end and see if we collapse any of this stuff.
do you want to drop the sisters down? I think they could be.
Ah, they see now everyone sees what I see. Fuck them. I am going to take. I know nothing about any of these teams. I'll take Yaegirs. I'm gonna put
You know
Yaegirs.
nothing about Jaegers. You've played them like 20 times on the channel, mate.
Yeah, but like I don't really know they do still. I'm sort of joking, but like I don't think they're very good. I guess is what
Oh,
sort
they're
of
very
I'm
good.
getting at.
They're good
They
against Elf.
yeah, even still though, it's just like they have a couple guns that hit on 3s, but they hit on 4s a lot. And that's sort of the problem. Even with the damage reduction, I think a lot of the teams up in like A and S just have ways to either do mortals now, chip damage, that just like they're an 8 wound team. As soon as they get down to like 6, like 2 dice is going to kill them almost no matter what's going through it nowadays. The mines are, I think as more people have played into the mines, they sort of just do nothing because you ignore them for the most part. You can also use some equipment to screen out the mines if there is anything really egregious. You can use other markers to do that. So I don't know. I think they can spike and they can still win games, but their tac ops also suck ass. This is the last thing.
And I think they're really reliable. They're really reliant on the kin token as well, like the fallen kin.
Yeah.
I think if they get that set up, and I think if your opponent fights around it, they'll probably have a good shot of winning the game.
Yeah.
If your opponent knows to kind of like avoid it or do other stuff, I think makes things harder.
Yep.
A 5-inch move can be rough as well.
Yeah.
So
You think they would be You think they'd be too good if they were hitting on 3s with all their knives?
Yeah. I don't think they'd be too good. I think they'd be a lot better.
That'd be good, yeah. I think that's a pretty quite good idea. Um,
I
What do
think
you
they'd
want,
be too
George?
good.
give me breaches.
Ooh.
Put them in F tier. They didn't get power armor, so Angel can't play them. Joking. I think they're probably one of the better hordes. I think they're solidly B now.
Yeah?
I think I think they're really good. I think 4/4 is a really important breakpoint. They have honest dude, put them in B. The skull, like playing around that threat range is
Yeah.
an absolute nightmare. They have the breach guy who can set up one ways on Volcus. They got good reliability. They got like good like heavy activations as well with like the GA2. So that you can get like 2 really good threats. You could make 2 really good trades off with them. They have 3 APL. They have cool heads, or the one which gives them +1 to control the point. I think they're just like a really solid team. They got damage reductions. They got good break points. I just think in the right hands, I think they're a team that scores really well. I think they might struggle into some of the meta teams, but I think across the field as a whole, I think they're very playable.
Yeah. That's fair. Yeah. No issues with that one.
They're boring.
Yeah, they are. They're boring vanilla boys in spacesuits. I don't know. All right, David, talk about Murderwing.
I played them once. Uh, I have no idea. They at first you read them and you're like, damn, all these rules are so non-interactive, and then every single one of them is a lot more restricted than they seemed like at first. They can still go last every time, which is really good. But none of they nerfed Murderous Descent, so now you have to be above people when you like reactive charge. So that's a lot harder to make use of and a
Yeah.
lot easier to play.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
And
Yeah.
the one thing to really notice is like you can only boost on your activation. So when you do like they have like equipment where when their opponent falls back, you can do a free reposition or charge up to 3 inches. So like you get like a free proclivity when they fall back. But that's like normal movement. You can't use it to boost into someone. So like you couldn't like fall back onto Vantage or something if they try to fall back. So it's a lot less like non-interactive than you would think. It's also like quite hard to put people into your boost zone because if you unless you're one of the operatives that can boost into combat with a reposition, you can't end a boost move in like even if it's in the middle of your move, you can't ever enter their control range, so you can't land a boost in their control range, which means you'd have to actually basically start right outside of their control range if you want to hit them with a boost move, like a slice from above, which is their like equipment thing, or the hunt master's got like a better version of that where they like fly over and do some damage. It's not. It doesn't seem. None of them. Anything that says boost zone seems pretty unusable, except maybe the curse claw.
Yeah.
And that's like a big maybe. Apart from that, though, they have a lot of bullshit. So I don't know. Probably top of A.
Yeah. I feel like this might actually be an S tier team, but we have to wait and see what people do.
They have 3 operatives that can one-shot elves. Is one thing to keep in mind.
Yeah. They do.
It's pretty S tier on Volcus, right? And then
I think like
Yeah,
I don't even know if that's the most fucked up thing. I think it's like the
yeah,
go last ploy, I think can just skew so much stuff. And
yeah,
especially in conjunction with the cards. Like if you assemble
yep,
like the right set of
yep.
cards and then you have the go last, you basically have last activation, first activation guaranteed, or mostly guaranteed. Um,
yeah.
and I think if you play cagey enough, like I could see you just playing retrieve all the time with this team. And you just play around that. You play for your 4, you just don't give your opponent anything and you just play around that stupid ploy and like whatever cards that you have.
Or
Um,
you send the Screecher in to grab that home point with the -1 for
right,
control
yeah.
with the initiative roll. Yeah. yeah, I think you need to get 5 and retrieve, and you can do that last turn as well once you kind of focus on trading.
Yeah, I don't know if it was you and I talking about this, George, or me and somebody else, but it's like I think on TP2 and I think on TP4 that ploy is like incredibly strong for like one starting the tempo of the game and forcing someone to either take a risk or not. And then if you have the guaranteed last activation of the game, it's a play like you said, where it's like
Yep.
retrieve and you can go and screw up their home point. So like on paper, I think all that sounds really powerful, but I think it's like in practice, does it actually play out like that? Which sometimes it just doesn't. So I think top of 8
That's the
for me
thing.
now.
And that's the thing as well, right? So like unlike I'll be quick. Unlike Angels of Death, where a lot of their damage output is done by shooting, which is relatively low risk. A lot of the output for Murderwing is in melee, which is it's more reliable to get 3 dice if you hit the right breakpoints, but at the same time you're also taking a lot more chip damage.
Yeah.
So I think there's like sometimes occasions where you'll fall completely flat in your face, and that might just be the game.
Yep,
So.
that's true.
But
Yeah.
a bit more, it's got like a higher percentage odds, but when the odds don't work out, it hurts you a lot more.
Yep.
I would caveat that with they have a lot of guaranteed damage before the melee. Like they do 1
Yep.
damage on the charge, and then like they have abilities like Carving Blow, where they can just spam like 9 damage into anything without ever taking anything,
Yeah.
which is
That's the thing, right? Like
very
say if you need
unattractive.
like say if you need to retain 3 successes to secure a kill, that's like a 80%, right? But that works like 4 out of 5 times, but the 20% where it doesn't can just completely screw you. Where like in shooting, even if it's like a kind of a less percentage chance for the kill, like let's say like 30 or 40, I think
Mhm.
the comparative risk of you failing the roll is a lot lower depending on where you end your move or where you end your activation compared to kind of committing to melee. So I think they're basically like kind of a riskier kind of version of elites basically compared to Angels of Death. So
Yeah.
kind of cool though. It's cool to have that in
Do you
the
think
game.
S? Do you think we're like being too cautious with
No,
it?
I think it's alright. I think it's good.
I think a Hand of the Archon needs to come out of S, but we'll get back to that later.
Well, what do you mean? The Archon is fucking nuts.
I
You
get
guys
it.
don't know. You don't get it.
Get it. You talk to Henry too much.
We'll talk after Worlds. You'll see. Like
I'll take
4 patches from now.
I'm taking Inquisition. I'm gonna put them in A. Like I am not someone who I've tried playing Inquisition. I don't enjoy playing Inquisition. I think it's a relatively boring team, but I think it's hard to not acknowledge just like the power of their ploys and the operatives and just sort of what they can do in the game. Um, I don't know. If someone's good with them and is willing to dedicate the time to actually learn all the bullshit, I think they're up there with one of the strongest teams, but yeah, they're just so friggin' boring.
And that margin for error as well, right? Like
Yeah,
if you make
just
one mistake, you're dead by screwed. But I think they got some cool tech though. Like Guy Barton from the UK at Worlds, he was doing some cool stuff with the Hexasis. He was
yeah.
like marking expendable operatives, turning that off to gain the kill up points. So I think there's some. They're not for everyone, but I think if you kind of like Marmite, right? If you like them, you know you like them, and I think you do well with them. But I think they're not for most people. So.
Yeah, fair.
Actually, put Murderwing in S. Put Murderwing in S.
Go.
I can already see it. Like we're gonna put it in A, and then like Murderwing's like stats are gonna come out. It's gonna be like 99% win rate or something.
Yep.
And we're gonna feel like such idiots.
There you go. I moved Hoda down. You can yell at me in a bit.
Okay.
Sorry.
Hoda's the only team. They need a rank of their own.
He
S
wants to
plus.
take stealth suits.
I know nothing.
I know nothing. I just going
Tosh
to China for the
spammed
popcorn. So.
Yeah.
Tosh spammed stealth suits into me for like a week straight. So
Hmm.
they seem really good against elites that don't have chain snares, and really, really bad against elites that do have chain snares. Or any team with chain snares, honestly. They also kind of really struggle into like teams that can't die in one shot. So like Felgors, all the Goremongers, Felgors, just kind of crush them, I think.
Murderwing.
Just teams that out activate them, kind of crush them.
Also,
Like
they was Tosh doing the Vantage Flores Lava spatter cheese as
oh
well.
yeah,
Where
yeah.
I think that a lot of the stealth players are doing that. I think that's going to be countered by the boost from
Yeah.
Murderwing.
Oh yeah. It sounds brutal actually, trying to play against Murderwing. Although it's kind of weird, like because Murderwing doesn't actually. They only have one guy with chain snares, so I'm not sure.
I think
It
they're
might be
like
okay.
maybe it's like this. I think they're like a low B team. I actually think
Good.
there's stuff
Yeah.
there. I think they're like a weird play style, and you sort of have to jive with that. But I think they're better than
I would
these
say
teams.
top of C, honestly.
Top of C, sure. We can do that. Who? I don't even know what the order we're going now. Someone talked about George. Talk about Brood Bros. You, I think, are the only one that's played them.
I like them. I think they're good. Put them underneath Inquisition. I think. A tier, maybe B.
I was gonna
Yeah,
do that.
B.
Yeah. They
They're
saw
good.
no changes. They're just solid, good horde team. They're probably the best horde team, yeah.
Best 12-man whole team.
12 man. Yeah, that's what I mean.
probably.
Like these other ones are
Yeah.
all 11, I believe.
Yeah, I think they're good. They like the new crit up pack. I think they score stuff like Envoy, and a lot of the they score well. So
Yeah, fair.
haven't played them really. So
I'll take plagues. I think plagues are still pretty good. I think they're
yeah,
probably high B, given like the way that this list is sort of shaken out. Maybe they're under Kasrkin because Kasrkin's probably fine into them. I think they're just a solid all-around team. I think they can give a lot of teams problems just because of the way poison works and their just durability. Um, yeah, I just think they're
yeah,
solid.
they're a marine team. They're good. The floor's pretty low.
Yeah.
They're good. So
Yeah. All right, someone take Sanctifiers, please.
Max did quite well with them, but then B. I think they're playable.
Yeah, they're going. They're going. They can go there.
Put them below breaches. Put them below breaches.
There we go.
I think breaches are better. Yeah.
Damn.
That's for you, Angel. I was joking about breaches earlier. I think they're really cool.
All right,
They're too damn hard to play.
I'm just gonna put this up here.
Yeah, I thought we were good.
You think so against the new teams?
Yeah.
I think Murderwing kind of crush them. Thing is, Murderwing can do this thing where they do a lot of like damage without actually fighting them.
Yeah.
Stun as well.
So then
And
they can like get them nice and low and then kill them on their own activation.
Yeah.
I think top of A.
You think top A? You don't think they're S?
I think they're good. Yeah, they didn't get touched, did they? And
I don't think one bad matchup
Yeah.
makes them like not S.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah.
But
No, they're insane, so you're right.
they still have flank. I think like George alluded to earlier, you can still just throw. They have just like weight of bodies and like the durability because of frenzy to just stay flanking. So I think out of any of the teams that can consistently hold it in 2 and 3 for 2 flanks, that this probably is the easiest one.
And they probably crush Hoda, which on its own puts them in S tier.
True.
It's already beating an S tier team.
No, because Hoda's an A tier team, so that makes sense.
So I think what's interesting as well, looking at the thing overall, just to kind of like put a pin on it and wrap everything up. I do think the extremes have been kind of being brought in. I think we like as evidence, right? I think the majority of the teams are in A and B, which means that the game is probably pretty balanced if you're comparing two kind of players of equal skill.
Yeah.
I think there's like a lot of kind of I think the power level has been kind of reined in a bit. Obviously, some teams are stronger than others, which is kind of expected with 30 plus factions or however number there are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what shakes out.
It's interesting we didn't put anything in F.
I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah, I don't think so either anymore. I think before
could
the
eat-
slate
you
I
know
would
what-
have done that.
You know what we could have put? We could maybe even something S, but put that A plus for the top one.
True. Yeah, we could. I don't know how to do that, so I'm gonna fuck this up if I start
If you
touching it.
get if you hover over the S, you can type into it A plus. Because I don't think the
The gear button next to the things you can add, it says
Oh yeah.
All right, we're
at
not
Rogue Low.
we're not debugging on a video. We're not doing this.
What do you guys think overall? Anything you change?
Um,
Maybe
we know.
put Sisters top of B. Put Sisters top of B. I still think they're actually quite good.
I would drop stuff down from A into B just to like
I
put the majority of
I think-
stuff in there. Like I would probably drop if we're doing this. I actually didn't
I
order
drop
this.
Inquisition.
You would drop Inquisition? I was gonna say you
Yeah.
drop Wolves, Vespids, and Gores or something like that. I think Inquisition's better than them.
In a singles
think-
tournament or in a team tournament?
Not team.
Singles.
Singles?
I think Wolf Scouts is
Inquisition's-
A. I don't think they're fundamentally changed. I think Wolf Scouts is still really good.
It'd be hard pressed to get me to say Inquisition's better than C, honestly.
God damn.
Like
What the
I think that team's kind of crap.
You're crazy, man.
Like, oh, you can counter my ploy. Oh no. Oh wait, you only have 10
Dave-
operatives and they only have 7 health?
David, not a blue player
know, man.
confirmed.
Yeah,
I don't know,
Wait
man.
until you walk into the
It-
6-inch no reroll bubble. Have fun with that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Just don't low
I'm
roll.
curious to see how you find Hierotek, Dave. I kind of that's like the wild card, right?
Yeah, I don't think I'm smart enough to play that team, honestly. I'm playing Vespids, which is like
No.
you could just like turn your brain off and you just move. This is I've played a few games of this and it's hard. It's probably the hardest team I've had to try and play so far. Other than Inquisition. I think Inquisition's harder to play than Hierotek.
Yeah, Inquisition's like
agree.
an imaginary S tier. But
True.
in reality they're F. Not a single
Think-
person can play them.
If you made like a computer that could play Kill Team,
His
I
name
think
would be Henry.
Inquisition-
I don't think they would play Inquisition.
Yeah, in Henry's hands, Inquisition would be S.
Yeah, there you go.
Henry's tried Inquisition and he didn't win a single game. He played them, like lost 4 times in a row to me and quit. Like he's just like, I'm not playing this team ever again.
That sounds like Henry too, actually. Cool. I think that's it then, unless we want to fiddle with stuff. This is a definitive
good.
tier list. This is gospel.
100% accurate.
Cool.
Don't add us
Except
in the
for Moda.
Discord with our bad takes
Yeah.
in 2 months.
Cool. All right.
That
This
was
is
fun.
great. Thanks, dudes. And yeah,
Thanks
as
so
always,
much.
let us know if you like this stuff or if we should never make a tier list again. And thanks for watching. Bye.
Yeah.